Back in November, the IRS announced yet another 1099-K form reporting threshold delay for payments made on third-party platforms. So for 2023, thank goodness, the threshold stayed at $20,000 and 200 transactions. But if you think you can breathe a sigh of relief, think again. The IRS now plans for a $5,000 threshold for 2024 to phase in the implementation of this rule. What does this mean for you? Well, that's what we're getting into in today's video. Hi, and welcome back to Stop Being Sold. My name is Michelle, and I'm here with Brian. And today we're talking about the new 2024 IRS rule change for 1099-K forms and what you need to know now to plan, who has to report, and what do you do if you get one of these by mistake? So, Brian, this form is going to be sent to anyone who receives more than 5K in payments in 2024.
Yes.
Let's break down what's included in the payments and what payment systems are required to report.
First things first. IRS says whether or not you receive a 1099-K form, you must still report any income on your tax return. Remember that.
Okay.
These include payments for any goods that you sell, including personal items such as clothing, furniture, any services you may provide, any property you may rent. And these payments can be made through any payment app like Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and Stripe.
But Venmo's still exempt from reporting, correct?
Zelle is.
Zelle. Zelle.
Yeah, Zelle is exempt from reporting the 1099-K form because it's controlled by a consortium of banks that use it to send client funds directly to one another. The payment basically, Michelle, they don't have custody of your money. So that's what separates them from the rest of the pack.
Okay,
that turns out to be the key distinction for income tax reporting purposes.
Got it.
But just because Zelle isn't required to send 1099-K forms, that doesn't mean you don't have to pay taxes. You still must report all taxable income you made, including income from Zelle, on your 2024 taxes.
It's just that they're not going to send the 1099-K form.
They're not sending the 1099-K forms because they're not required to.
Okay, so let's talk about other platforms that report.
Think about online community marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace or craft marketplaces like Etsy. How about auction sites? That could include like GoDaddy domains.
Sure.
How about car sharing or ride hailing platforms? Uber, Lyft, ticket exchange or resale sites, crowdfunding platforms, and even freelance marketplaces.
Okay.
Also, credit, debit, or stored value cards such as gift cards, which are payment cards from third-party settlement organizations or TPSOs, are subject to 1099-Ks also.
Interesting.
So let's say you take an online survey and you get a gift card for taking that survey. The IRS says this is income, and if it's over $5,000, you're going to get a 1099-K.
Okay.
If you accept payments on different platforms, you could get more than one Form 1099-K.
Okay, so I have a question on this. Let's say you do $4,999 with one company and $4,999 with another company. What happens then? Is it $5,000 per issuer, or is it $5,000 per company who sent you the money? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So according to the IRS guidelines, if you make more than $5,000 with one payment system, that payment system is required to send you a 1099-K. But if you did $49.99, they ain't going to send you a form.
But you still have to report it. Okay, got it.
Yes, you still have to report it because the IRS still says you have to report all taxable income.
Okay. All right. But so you still report it. I'm just going to say this one more time. You're not going to get a 1099-K. So where do you put it on your tax form?
Yeah, this is going to be listed under miscellaneous income on the tax form.
Okay, so what if a friend sends me money to cover a meal we split? What's happening there?
That was one of the common issues. IRS says that money you receive from friends and family as a gift or repayment for a personal expense should not be reported on Form 1099-K because these payments aren't taxable income. Okay. For example, sharing the cost of a car ride or meal, like you said. How about receiving money for a birthday or holiday gifts or getting repaid by a roommate for rent or a household bill? They also want you to make sure to note these types of payments as non-business inside the payment apps when possible.
Okay, so for example here, for like in PayPal, Cash App, things like that, there's a note section.
Yes.
This is where you want to they want you to make a note for what the payment's for, correct?
Right.
So it seems, okay, here's the thing. People can write whatever they want. I mean, who's going to sit there and verify this?
Well, and here's the scenario. The note should be where if you're sending the funds,
Right.
you're going to write a note. This is what I sent this for.
Sure.
Right. Well, what if the receiving party that's getting the 1099K didn't get that note? That note don't transpire on, does it? Every app's different.
Yikes. This is going to be a mess.
I can't even imagine the compliance nightmare that will be on these payment apps.
Yeah, for sure. And for the people using it. I mean, what if you get a form for something that's personal? You have to go back through a lot of transactions. You got to find your note, and then you have to prove it to the payment provider and then the IRS.
Here's the deal, folks. You need to stay on top of this and keep detailed records, because I'm not so convinced the IRS isn't going to change this rule again this year.
Yeah.
What if they come back and with a just kidding, we're going back to the $600 rule or another figure under $5,000? You have got to be ready for that.
Do you think that they're going to do that? I mean, they've changed it so many times already.
Nothing surprises me. Remember, the $600 was originally written inside a bill that actually passed through Congress.
Yeah. So
it's viable. They can go back and say, nope.
All right.
To the original bill.
Well, okay. So keep accurate records starting now, and good luck. May the force be with all of you. Brian, let me ask you this. What happens if you get a 1099K form when you shouldn't have?
The IRS has a section dedicated to the 1099K form on their website. If you receive one, we'll drop a link in the description below for you. Now, if you get a form that reports personal payments from family or friends, like gifts or reimbursement, a form that doesn't belong to you, or a form that duplicates a 1099K that you've already received, here's what you need to do.
Okay.
First, contact the issuer immediately. You're going to see a filer on the top left corner of that form 1099K to find the name and the contact information of whoever issued that 1099K. For example, if you got a form from eBay, their contact information is going to be at the top of the 401K. Or the 1099K.
1099K, yeah.
Yeah. My question is, who's going to answer all these phone calls at the payment provider?
Exactly.
Just a question. Second, reach out and ask for a corrected 1099K form that shows a zero amount. And then also make sure to keep a copy of the original form and all correspondence with the issuer for your personal records. Oh, and Michelle, you're going to love this one. IRS says for you not to wait to file your taxes. They want you to file even if you can't get a corrected form 1099K from that payment provider.
Imagine that. So they want you to file even if it's wrong. Correct the issue. Then
yes, this is customer service at its finest.
Oof. Okay. Every time we talk about some of these, specifically the 1099K form, I leave the video not breathing. So on that note, we're going to wrap this up. Wow.
Done.
Just wow. I encourage you to check out another video we just did on critical IRS rule changes for 2024. The link's going to be in the description below. This is really important. There's a lot more changing, and you got to know now so that you can plan for next year. Yep. Also, if you like the content of this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Brian and I are on top of any changes that the IRS makes and regulations that come through Congress. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any important alerts. Brian, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. And as always, thanks to everyone who watched.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.